In this video, we're going to talk about how to use the live mode in DT6, which is useful for seeing things in real time and then being able to look at them completely later. So the way that you get to live mode is you toggle over to modules and then you press the live mode, and it'll ask if this is actually what you want to do, just in case you accidentally clicked it. So then you hit run, and after a couple seconds you'll see data show up on the screen. So here it is. The offset is just because of gravity, so don't worry about that for now. It'll be taken care of later. But here we can just see the data coming in real time on both the blue sensor and the green sensor. So if I go ahead and turn on my motor now, we can start to see the vibration come in real time. And then we can turn it back off. And we can see the coast down of the machine. And we can toggle to the FFT, and we can use these buttons to auto scale. And if you want to zoom in, you can use the little magnifying glass and choose this or this. Or you can add a filter to the signal if you want to view the filtered version of the waveforms. But then we'll go ahead and hit return, and just to keep in mind, it's saving all of this data, but it only saves what you're seeing on the screen once it passes to the end. So if you want what's on the screen to be saved, just wait till it reaches the end of the screen and the screen refreshes, and then you can hit return. And when you hit return, you'll be viewed with all the data it's been recording. Once it records 90 seconds worth, every time it hits 90 seconds, it'll delete the 30 oldest seconds just to keep from building up too much memory. So you can have basically anywhere on a maximum up to 90 seconds. But here we can use this green cursor and this red cursor to decide where we want the actual data to be from the live mode and be brought into DT6. So whatever between the green and the red is what data will be brought into DT6, as if you had just... So in this case, if this would simulate what happened if I hit acquire right when this green line started, and then the system stopped acquiring right at this red line. So I can go ahead and use this region, and then I'll just hit cut and finish. It'll go ahead and load it. This was a pretty decent size, but so now we can toggle back to acquire. We can see we have data here, and if we toggle over to the analysis, we can actually look at that data as if we had just brought it in normally, and look at it as if you normally would in the DT6. Quick thing to note, the live mode is also useful for doing a bump test, so I will go ahead and clear this, and no, I would not like to save it. So the way you do a bump test really quickly is, again, you toggle over to the modules, you press live mode, you hit run, and once it starts taking data, go ahead and hit peak hold, and then toggle over to the two FFTs, and then give your machine a tap. And I usually like to tap it at kind of an angle so that part of the impact is in each of the three directions. You just want to give it one big tap, maybe a couple. And here's your peak hold. So your red's your horizontal, your white's your vertical, green's your axial. And you can see here that it seems like my system has a resonance right around 125, and maybe another resonance right around 325. And then we can just hit return if we want, and we can see the data associated with each of those bumps. And we can go ahead and cut around just those guys as close as we can, like this for instance. I'll go ahead and cut that, and then we can go ahead and look at that just as if we normally would in the DT6, and we can even zoom in and try and figure out exactly what the main resonant frequency for this resonant of this bump test is. So I hope this helped. The live mode is useful for viewing things in real time and also for doing bump tests, and it's a good way of getting data when you're not exactly sure when the phenomenon you're looking for is going to start, so that you can make sure that you capture all the data you want and then cut it down to only the piece you care about.